Good morning, my sweet peas. Top of the morning, actually, grand rising. I forget that I'm trying to avoid saying good morning because what the fuck are we mourning for? I know it's been a while, guys. I've been kind of MIA, but it's only because I'm working on me. I'm trying to do better in my life. I am doing better in my life, and sometimes that just requires you to either seclude yourself or just focus on yourself, which I do recommend everyone doing, by the way. So let's tap in. This morning it's pretty calm. I, I call these tree stars because of Land Before Time, but we got some big ass tree stars. Yeah, I'm gonna just go on a little rant. I'm tired. I'm really tired of people. But I think I'm tired of people that I am like used to. Like the people that are going to come to you all the time with a handout, or people that come to you all the time and they just want to dump and dump and dump their issues on you, no matter how many times you basically repeat what you say, and let them know, like, hey, it's up to you. You got to do this. You got to do that. Da, 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 da. People still come back to you with the same damn issues. And that's really annoying. So collective, if you have anyone that's been coming to you and every time they talk to you and it's always the same issues, understand that that person is not taking accountability. That person does not see an issue with whatever they do or whatever they're not doing. They just want to hear themselves talk. They just want somebody to encourage their behavior or encourage their decisions. They want someone to be on their side so that they can, get that rise of thinking that they're right or thinking that they did the right thing, or please stay away from those type of people. Those are low-key energy vampires, man. And energy vampires come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and ways. Trust me. Stay away from the energy vamps. People who come over and they just want to suck your freaking energy by basically projecting their negative energy or whatever they're going through on you. And it doesn't mean that they're literally like blaming you or anything. It just means that they needed to find someone to basically release and pour all that shit out on. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to feel better about themselves. So please stay away from those people. If you start to feel like you deal with someone or you're talking to someone, whether it's friend, family, associate from work, your employer, a lover, I don't give a damn. If you hit up somebody, or if y'all are talking, or if they're around and y'all are chit-chatting and you feel very drained and sluggish and just like weirdly, oddly like drained afterwards, they drained your freaking energy. So you got to really up your protection. You got to put up them boundaries. And when I say protection, I mean spiritual protection. I ain't say go get a Glock. Go get an AK-47. I ain't say all that. It ain't that serious. Unless you have someone who's overly stalking and really, pushing boundaries and stuff like that, then of course, be prepared and, just protect yourself. But this doesn't have anything to do with that, really. It just means like spiritual protection. You gotta pray more. You gotta, if you need crystals, go get pyrite. Go get, tiger's eye, black obsidian, and for some who can handle it, black tourmaline. It's very strong. Not everybody can handle it when they first get it. It takes a minute to really harness the power of that, to really be able to really carry that. It's a very strong crystal. Also, do some mudras, some mantras. Do a couple of mudras, what else can you do? Spiritual baths. Let's see. You could do a couple of things, just keep yourself grounded, keep praying up, get some protection, some spiritual protection. You can put salt around your doors. Let's see, cinnamon. There's herbs you can use like cinnamon, salt. You can use white salt, or you can go get actual salt. You can get black salt if you need to. you know? I'm just over it. I'm over people just like coming to me and like dumping their shit, and they do it so sneakily because they'll do it like as if it's just a small little conversation, or just something to bring to your attention, and the next you know, you're hearing them talk about it for 15 minutes, and then you're wondering why. It's like, okay, well, we already discussed this. I mean, I gave them pointers or tips or some advice, and we're still talking as if this person is basically not going to do none of that. And they usually don't. They don't usually do what you recommend. You know what I mean? They'll sit there and they'll go give you your space, and then when they come back, it's always about the same shit. We're not doing that. God's children, we are not doing that. Collective, we are not doing that. Okay, so no. If you want to live better, you need to put up boundaries with people, especially people who are obviously, maybe they could be in their south node energy right now. That's what I noticed. I was like, what is wrong with people? I feel like people who are acting out the way they are, who are completely in denial, are like in their south node. And I've experienced that before too, and I didn't even realize I was in mine either. And it was just like I was more aggressive and just doing whatever I wanted, and I didn't care about other people's feelings. And I get that you're not supposed to really care about what everybody think, not to the point where it affects you, it affects what you got going on, and it changes you and makes you act different towards others. No, it simply means like, ooh, hold on, y'all, it was a bug. But in your south node, it means that the energy is so tough that you are really in the node that in your past life where it was like the negative side, the dark side. And when you're in your south node, it just means that you are basically repeating patterns of the past. You know what I mean? And some people don't even realize it, that they're in their south node, because it can take any type of event to push you there. I remember when the moment, like just spiritually, my body went from present to south node mode. I felt it. And inside, I knew, I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go there. But I ended up going there anyway. And I had to go through that. Some people have to go through being in their south node energy, to learn what that is and to come up out of it. But not everybody does. We live on this earth, this 3D bullshit, this matrix bullshit, which I realize, like, I don't like it like that. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I belong. I feel like I was placed here and in a world that I might have heard about or whatever on some celestial shit, And it's beautiful. The world can be beautiful, but the people in it, they're not so beautiful. Not all people are beautiful. We live in a very corrupt world. But back to what I was saying, people who are in their south node, they're usually way more reckless. They're more volatile. They don't give a damn. They treat you like shit. They treat others like shit, And you have to stay away from people like that, because they're obviously going through something deeper and darker spiritually, and you don't need that rubbing off on you. So please protect yourselves, collective. Please. Pray more. Do more to pay respect to your ancestors. If you got to do stuff to your altar, if you have one, or create an altar, it's time, You got to be able to set up those boundaries for people who don't have either spiritual protection or they don't care. They're not there yet. Some people don't care at all. And some people will never get there, because we live in a 3D world where not everybody's going to be able to reach that potential of knowing and being in their higher selves, their north node. Your north node is stardom right there. Not stardom per se, but it's where you need to go. It's what leads you to your ultimate abundance, your ultimate place in life, where you're going to succeed. Your north node is your legacy, But That's all I had to say. I don't know. I just been kind of wanting to be by myself per usual. I feel like it gets easier and easier. You know, every time you notice people acting weird, acting different towards you, being just disrespectful, or people who aren't really taking you into consideration, people who aren't treating you how you treat them, you got to just like separate yourself from them, you know, and just do whatever God is telling you to do for you. Because at the end of the day, are these people really helping you? Are they contributing? Are they investing in you? If they're not investing in you and they're not contributing to you and your well-being, cut them off. I don't give a dang if it's your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your auntie, your uncle, your cousin. I don't give a damn. Your best friend, I don't care. Because at the end of the day, no one comes before God, and no one should come before you. You and God come first. If you can't take care of you and God first, then how are you going to take care of everybody else? Vice versa. If you're in your mode of like just worried about God and you, what makes you think that somebody who isn't there in that same mindset is worried about you and going to, you know, care for you? So that's all I got. I'll be back on a little later, y'all. Okay? I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Pray up, church up, whatever you do. You ain't even got to do all that. Not everybody goes to church. But whatever you do to pay respects to God, do that. All right, collective? Bye, sweet peas. Talk to you later.